So, great day, great Friday. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to Trauma Support Group Management. This is your man, Mr. Darrell Walker, live on Wax. Today I'm doing a new experiment. I know y'all probably can't see me as clear. So, with the genius mind that I have, I got my other phone right here recording, and hopefully it'll come out more clearer. I look really good in that clear form, but not to be conceited, just being confident. Today, welcome once again. It's Good Friday, as you can see. Monday everywhere. Today's class about PTSD. Now, if you know about PTSD, or Friday can be a PTSD day. I'm here to share with you some of my PTSDs, me personally, and how I have overcame PTSD. I just want to encourage anybody that has been watching my videos. I apologize for the footage once again. I don't like to be apologetic consistently, but I know that probably a lot of reasons people don't want to sit down and watch the videos because they're not clear, and that's understandable. But if you can, just take the time and just listen to the words. You don't have to turn into an audio book. I'm just saying, today I want to encourage you guys, and women and females and children. I know I be talking like that, but work with me, y'all, because when you're dealing with PTSD and the things that I'm addressing, you're not going to be perfect. And the reason why I make these classes is to explain to you, everyone, that I suffer from PTSD. If you watch, I suffer from trauma, PTSD, triggers, and I'm overcoming my fears. This is real things that people don't like to sit down and talk about, but because I'm a real individual, I'm not an AI, I'm not a scammer, I'm not in it. I wish I had more views, I wish it had reached more people, but just for this few that's getting it, in due time, I know that these videos are going to be touching lives. I'm going to share some of my PTSDs because dealing with PTSD, and I know y'all tired of saying that, but we have to address these PTSDs. We have to address this. Is keeping us from really maintaining a great life. And some of my PTSDs is, like I said, once again, Friday. It's a trigger day for me too, and it has a little trauma with it as well because of my old experiences. If you see me move my neck like that, I'm praying for God for my back pain, and it helps me concentrate sometimes. So if I move my neck a certain type of way, it's probably from one of my PTSDs. All right, so let's move forward. So today, I always come with a Bible verse that helps you with these classes that I do. I do put God in the center. If you have a personal issue with God and it's a PTSD, I just pray that, and I hope that you can find a way to resolve your issue with your PTSD, with your relationship following Christ. Because I want to share this. Coming up, I didn't have that you have to go to church mentality, but my mom did go to church, and I want to share a true story. My mom was in the church, and this is I'm sharing one of my PTSDs before we go to the scripture. My mom was in the church, and while we was in the church, my dad came in the church and violently disrupted the whole church, embarrassed us in the whole church, took my mama physically and drug her out of the church while we was in church. That was a traumatic PTSD moment. So if you want to understand what PTSD is, I'm also another PTSD that I want to share with Christ. My daddy died on Christmas Day of 2000 by Orange County Sheriff's Department. So you got to think about it. There go another, God, I could be rebellious against you and not serve you, and this is the reason why. So there were reasons why I could have been rebellious or had triggers or PTSDs with God personally, but I'm not doing that. I'm not promoting that. I'm just showing you that you could overcome and still live for God with your PTSDs. I think that was great. That was wonderful. Moving forward. So I have a scripture today, and it's in Psalms 147, verse 3, and it says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Now, I don't know about y'all, but just a little bit of I've been sharing with you guys. I know you can hear them situations can really break your heart towards God, and I'm not promoting people to be rebellious towards God, but when you deal with your PTSDs, because your PTSDs are things that broke your heart, understand that. Please understand that. Also, that there are wounds. Some PTSDs that we have are real wounds. Sometimes it's hard to forgive or forget a situation because why you haven't took it in and dealt with it personally. I'm sorry. I'm watching two different things here. I wish I could look down at you guys right here, but I got my screen right here. So I just want to make either way it go. I'm going to make this video. I'm doing live, and hopefully this video that I'm doing is I can load to and y'all can be clear. I'm working, I'm growing, I'm trying to work on things. Like I said, I don't get to move around much, and I ain't got too many friends, so I have to work with what I got, and I thank God for that. So let's go. So like I was saying, when you have broken heartness, when you have a broken heart, you have wounds. And a lot of people, we don't like to talk about our wounds. Some of my wounds with my PTSD that I would share is that some relationships, let me say it correctly. I used to be a person that couldn't be without a relationship. I'm going somewhere with this. I always had to have somebody in my life, a female, to be committing fornication or that codependency, emotional blanket or whatever, stable blanket, which is keeping it real. When you deal with these type of factors, which people don't like to deal with, I'm sharing with you to show you that you have to, if you want to overcome PTSD, you have to recognize what the problem was, who the person was with, what time and event, and and address it. Addressing PTSD is not easy, but back to what I was saying to relationships. I used to be down with relationships, but now I have PTSD from traumatizing and unhealthy toxic relationships. I enjoy being single, but I don't want to be single forever. But I'm very careful. Now I'm learning to take not only my PTSDs, I address them. I have been with women with kids. My sister said, hey, you make it sound like you hate kids, but to be honest with y'all and open and share with me my PTSD, I have been with women helping them with their kids. I don't have kids of my own, but helping them with their kids. And some kids, most relationships, either I had to carry them or, listen to them be disrespectful, or, I had no control over, or even as a childhood coming up at 8 years old, I had my sister, she was 4, and I had a newborn baby brother at the age of 8. So all of these are PTSDs. Me being in a relationship with women with kids, and their kids are out of order, and they're not happy with their life, or I'm with women and I have did wrong by putting them on, helping them use drugs or enabling them and not making the right decision for them. You can cause other people to have PTSD from your bad decisions and mistakes. So what am I saying, Mr. Walker? Mr. Walker saying this is not just a one-sided thing. You can cause people to have PTSD just as people can cause you to have PTSD. And then on top of that, you can cause yourself to have PTSD by making the wrong decisions, doing the wrong things, and just not thinking correctly, not making the right judgments or the right calls. So every time you see me, take a deep breath, because this was how you deal with it. You have to go in and deal with your wounds and your brokenheartedness. And if you hear the scripture said, He, which is God, He will heal the brokenhearted and bind up the wound. So what this mean? You know what bind mean? Like tie them up. There's some things in our life that we just need to just tie them up and throw them away. there's some things in my life, like my addiction, my fears, my cravings, my desires, my fleshly desires, my sinful ways, my negative thinking. I'm not perfect, but I have been practicing these new things in life, and I have binded up. If you're with me today and you're watching this video in the spiritual realm, I teach spiritually, psychologically, and naturally. Today we can bind up some things, and in your mind you can bind up that brokenheartedness or them traumas or them PTSD, and then in your emotions you can bind them up as well. You can get healed from your broken heart. And if you're understanding me so far how I'm talking today, I feel like you're feeling me, and that's great. So moving forward, the definition of PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental health condition. Please understand this, y'all. This is what I do. I am here because I had mental health issues, right? They said I had bipolar 2 and PTSD. It's documented. Honestly, I'm being open and honest with y'all. So the reason why I'm coming over here, because God has used me as an example that you can overcome these mental health conditions. Now, spiritually, these are demonic conditions. Natural, psychologically, these are from traumas, bad experiences, and unforgiveness or bad choices that you have made in life. And then emotionally, in the natural, you are still upset or disappointed or hurt or unforgiving towards the person that have done these things in your life, or you upset with yourself that you have the things you have done in your life. I want to share this part. Most of my relationships that I have sat down. I want to share this. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I'm going to share this because it's about opening up. It's about healing. This is what this is about today, healing. My classes are about healing. And the only way you're going to heal, you're going to have to open up. So I'm going to teach you something. Most of my relationships that I have done wrong, first of all, when you look at relationships and you have PTSD and anything that you got going on, first, you have to examine yourself. So I examined myself and said, you know what? I have problems. And after I figured out what my problem was, I addressed my problems. I cried about them. I done boo-hooed about them. I really cried a lot. I did a lot of crying. Because when you cry, you're healing, you're letting go of that stuff. And it doesn't make you soft. It doesn't make you weak-minded or less intelligent or anything. Any man that's really I'm being a man today, I'm in tune with my emotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm really in tune with my emotions. So for me to be in tune with my emotions, that's a great thing, because you can be in tune with your emotions, your mind, and everything else around you. So plus I'm in tune with the man upstairs. So let me put it in order, but let me guard your mind and your emotions. So that's how it works. So when you're dealing with yourself and you open up, like I say, you can really deal with yourself first, and then when you have a chance or opportunity in life to deal with that person, you can say, hey man, check this out. I have a problem, or get some professional help. Go sit down and talk to somebody and say, I got a problem, man. I need some help in this area, and there are people and programs out there to help you with that. But let me keep going. So the definition of post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental condition that can develop after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. This includes re-experiencing, like, you could be gone and something can happen familiar, and you can go in your mind and revisit, like today's Friday. I'm gonna help you out, share what I'm talking about. Today, Friday. When I was in addiction, this was my day. You know what I'm saying? I'm already on the clock. If you feel what I'm saying, I'm on the block. I got my whatever, I ain't gonna entertain all that, but you got what I'm saying from a worldly aspect. I'm not gonna entertain that. But sometimes, I'm just taught you how, if you are revisiting that re-experiences, I just showed you how not to do that. But let's keep going. This including re-experience the trauma related reminders, negative changes. This includes re-experience the trauma related reminds us. What it does, it just reminds us. Negative change in mood and thinking, and increase in arousal or reactivity. Now you can go through this and have these things going on in your PTSD, and it gives you a certain type of mood. It makes you think a certain type of way, and you can react a certain type of way from PTSD. That is very true. You can experience stress after a traumatic event. PTSD is diagnosed when symptoms persist for a extended period of, and it significantly interfere with the daily life. So after a period of time, significantly, this can interfere with your daily life. PTS keeps you, like some people, like me, I get in the car with a person, I ain't gonna share that. Let me give some, I don't like being around a crowd of people. I don't like when somebody's getting loud like that. That sets off my PTSD, because I had certain experiences when I was in the world. I'm just standing there and somebody getting loud, and next day you go pop, 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 and then you look down and somebody's dead. I have been around those type of things. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm just sharing, so stay with me. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm just sharing. Stay with me. So once I was saying, these certain things that you have experienced negatively in your life can really interfere with your personal life. Let's move forward. Now, PTSD has certain categories, and I'm going to break that down to you. Intrusive memories, vivid, distressing re-experience of the traumatic event at that time. So you don't have to be, you can just revisit in your mind and see some things. I have seen on my dad, like sometimes somebody move their hand a certain type of way or move too fast around me. It reminds me of my dad, like trying to sneak punch me. You seen that? You see how I just did that? That is PTSD, full and fake alive. These are reactions, okay? I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. So you often triggered by reminders. You can be triggered. Some people can say something. You can smell something. You can hear something, or you can see something, and it can trigger you to remind you of that certain time in your life where you have experienced that trauma. This is deep, y'all. I want to help you understand. I think the Bible says, look forward towards the prize and forget those things which are behind. We have to forget what's behind and move forward, because if we stay back in the past, I'm trying to grab you being towards the future. I'm trying to grab you being out the hands of hell. I'm trying to grab you out of your depression and your overwhelming and your failures and your low self-esteem, because these things, trust me from experience, have kept me in addiction. It has kept me not seeking better for myself. It kept me with a low self-esteem, and I'm being open and honest and real. One of my videos, I do express, and I'm going to emphasize this, I'm not trying to trigger anybody. This is real life. I'm sharing my real life with you to get on here and show you, like, let you know that I am an individual that has the same thing that you have. I'm just dealing with it. I have dealt with it, and I'm showing you what you can do to change it. So let's keep rolling. Rocking or rolling, it don't make no difference. I feel you. I heard you. Right. So intrusive memories, vivid distraction, re-experience of the traumatic event, often triggered by memories. This also gives you bad dreams to remember the trauma, and unwanted, distressing thoughts or images of the event. Like I say, a lot of times, there's some things that we have seen. I said this yesterday's video. If you go by my lives, they're in order. But anyway, yesterday I said some things we have seen that really messed my life up. I have seen some stuff in my life that really messed my life up. And you got to not only listen to me, but what is it in your life? What's distressing thoughts in your mind, or images of your event, or unwanted thoughts, like I was saying, that's in your mind that you don't want to picture anymore. If you, I want to say this, I'm going off the script, but speaking from my heart, I'm telling you from experience. If you want to change anything about your PTSDs, first thing you have to do is change your mind frame. You know what I'm saying? Or change your emotions. But it really starts with your mind frame. You really got to start with your mind frame first. Because you got to say, you know what? I'm tired of feeling like this. I know PTSD keeps you in fear. I'm reaching out. I'm touching something. PTSD keeps you in fear. And a lot of times when you're in fear, you're paralyzed. So I just want to encourage you that you can come out of this. You can shake it off today. You can shake that off. Shake that PTSD off. Shake that fear off, okay? Shake them intrusive thoughts. Just get it out your mind. I know you said, Mr. Walker, it's not easy. Start practicing. Practicing on focus on something positive. I'm telling you with experience, and you can change. Okay, so that was good. That was good. All right. So we have another category. It's called avoiding symptoms. Now, avoiding thoughts, feelings, or conversations relating to the trauma. This can involve trying to suppress. Suppress means like push it on the back burner, the memories or feelings associated with the event. Now, I really want to open up and share to you. When my daddy died in 2000, every year for Christmas, 6 years straight, I would get depressed, and I would get a hotel room on the 23rd and be getting high from the 23rd all the way. And my birthday is in January, and I would get high from my birthday all the way, from Christmas all the way to my birthday, literally, and just be sitting in the room, just remember, having thoughts of my father. Now, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I'm sharing some of the thoughts of my father were great. Most of the percentage of the thoughts of my father are, you got the pros and cons, and it's a lot of cons. He didn't have too many pros with me. The only pros I could really say with him, he taught me how to cook. He showed me how to dress, make my bed. He let me know that I was a man, and ain't nothing soft about me. And he taught me how to fight and defend myself, and I appreciate that. He tried to teach me how to do cars, fix cars. He was really handy with his hands, and he tried to impartate that in my life. But the rest of his hands was all over me, and that's the con. So, what are you saying, Mr. Walker? Sometimes when you go through things, you don't want to address it. You just put it on the back burner, and that's dangerous, because you're going to live in that continuous cycle, that continual loop. And for 6 years, I sat there and cried for 6 years straight, getting high about my father that beat on me, wasting my time. That's what you're doing right now. If you're focused on something that somebody did to you a long time ago, you're wasting your time. They did it 20 years ago, and you're still dealing with that. Today's the day for you to let that go. Them feelings or the memories, okay? So let's go. Also avoiding people, places, and activities that remind you of the trauma. This can lead to isolation or withdrawal. So a lot of times, if you see some people like, I go places and I be like, I don't want to go there, because it reminds me of a certain trauma, or it just triggers me. We have to stop doing this, because life is life, and if you want to live life, you have to come out of this area up here. You got to come out of here. Only reason why I'm sitting here in front of you today, because I came out of here. I came out. Okay, Darrell, you ain't BG no more. You ain't baby gangster no more. You're not a gangster anymore. I was just looking at 10, 15 years. Honestly, looking at 10 to 15 years. And then my past relationship, this past relationship I had, I put myself in a bad situation. Well, no, the situation was escalating with me. Let me share this. I want to share this wisely. I was in my past relationship, and I was helping my woman and her kids. Now, I was in addiction. True enough, I was in addiction. I was doing my thing. But I'm a functioning addict, so I can do my thing and function. I might not look the great, but I'm getting stuff done. You believe that? And while I was in this relationship, the baby father was saying certain things about me. He had posted on Facebook that I was a pedophile. I was pedophiling his children, and that I was taking his girl, his baby mama, and selling her for drugs when I was the drug man. I'm not confessing to that, but you look at my history. I got more possession cocaine than anything. So I don't have to pimp anybody. I was a natural born hustler. But what I'm saying to this, that situation turned out bad, because when you are in addiction, or when you're in a fog, or when you're hurt, you don't think correctly. And then all you can think is, okay, is it like somebody hit me? The Christian thing, turn the other cheek. Well, when you're in the world, you don't turn the other cheek. And when people hurt you, what you think about hurting them? So what am I saying to this? I didn't really get to that, because I started isolating myself in my mind. I didn't have the drive to do anything for anybody no more. I didn't even have the drive to do nothing for myself. And I became withdrawal. When you get hurt and you don't address it, you withdraw. You really get it back in the corner. If you see a lot of people like us dudes from the street or anybody that's been hurt a lot, you'll notice they'll be the ones back in the corner like this. While everybody running their mouth, I'm one of them guys. I sit back in the corner. I never used to talk. So me to sit here and talk to you and open up, I never used to do that. And if I ran my mouth, I'm giving you a warning sign. That's it. Then to be positive, with a little positive, when I was locked up, I was preaching man. How y'all doing? I'm still preaching. You know what I'm saying? I'm now being a therapist and I'm preaching. But not to glorify myself, but just to share my situation more. When you are really hurt, you don't want to deal not even with yourself. That's why people get high. That's why people get drained. That's why people go in the room, cut the lights off, and make it dark. Because they don't want to deal. Your mind can drive you crazy. And I'm trying to help you today not to be crazy in your mind. I'm trying to help you break out of that and understand these are behaviors of your PTSD. Some people say, I don't have no problem. Well, if you're relating to some of these, we got a problem. But we're going to move forward. We're here to fix the problem. Let's do an exercise. You know I got to do it. So today I like to, when I ask people to do an exercise, I just want you to speak life over yourself. And today I want you to say to yourself, grab your mind and just say, you know what? I'm going to fix my PTSD. I'm going to address my PTSD. And I can be healed from my PTSDs. I want you to do that. I want you to do that. I'm going to do it again so I make sure you do it. Say, I can address my PTSDs. I can change from my PTSDs. And I can heal from my PTSDs. See, let that sink in your mind because, you know, evidently it's in my brain and it came out my mouth. So all I'm trying to do is just get it in your brain so you can begin to understand. Some of us probably feel a little better. Some of us probably feel a little tense. Don't feel tense. It's time for you to come out that shell. Don't you get tired of walking around like this, like all tensed up? That's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Loosen up, to shake it off. You're not in that moment anymore. That moment is over with. Okay, let's move forward in life. It's life is out here. All right. Another category I have is change in arousal and reactivity. Being easily startled. Sometimes PTSD, I don't like banging. I don't like people swinging. I don't listen. Here go my PTSDs. First of all, I don't like nobody saying what to me. I can't stand that. Especially a woman. I don't have bad experiences. I don't like people moving their hands around me too tough. I don't like slamming doors, and that just comes from incarceration. Pounding on my door, I can't do that. It comes from abuse, robbery, and being in jail. Listen to them just boom, 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 boom all night. You don't understand. PTSD. This is real. I'm sharing with you real stuff. So sometimes you can hear a certain sounds, and it can trigger you back to a moment. It can startle you when you're very easy. You're on edge. Yeah, you might have PTSD. Also, here we go. Here's a good part of the note. Being easily startled or feeling on edge on a constant vigilant. Like we say, keep your head on the swivel is real. Keeping your head on the swivel is a real lifestyle, okay? From most of the street guys, y'all be looking at us like, dang, what's wrong with you? Man, listen, we done had some, we thought sometimes we done thought everything was cool, and boom, out the blue, something happened. On the Bible, just for scripture, the Bible does tell us to be watchful and prayerful. So just, if you keep your head on the swivel at all times, not be watchful in your spiritual life, being watchful of you not being around bad people and bad situations. I just want to promote that. Aware of danger. You'll have this awareness of danger even when there's not even danger. This is a real thing, y'all. This is a real thing that them people want to talk about. Some people say, oh yeah, you on drugs. No. When you have been through bad experiences and you know what? I'm just gonna speak for some of us men. I can't speak for the women. No, I can do that. I can speak for y'all women too. When we be hurt, you know what? I'm the type of guy, and you probably the type of person you can relate to what I'm finna say. When we be hurt, we'll be like, you know what? We forget that person, and you know we're gonna give the next person a bit of a doubt, and some kind of way, that person, the next person we give an opportunity to, they did something worse than the first person, and we live that chain of command, not even just trying to get love and not knowing that every relationship we leave, we stuff it. Every relationship we leave, we stuff it. Every friendship we leave, we stuff it. Every church we leave, we stuff it. And then now you walk around with all this baggage in you, and you're not at ease. You're always on the edge. This is very important. If you're hearing me, I feel this in my spirit that I'm touching something and setting somebody free. Because in here, I know some people could probably feel it right here. Yeah, that's that baggage that we need to get rid of. I'm praying that you can get free from that baggage. If you're feeling emotional a little bit, you understanding where I'm coming from because you want to be free. You don't want to feel like that. You don't want to keep going through that experience anymore. And if you're shedding a little tear, it's okay. You know, it's healing. You're addressing something, you're healing, you're going to be better. You know, don't let nobody tell you, no, just let you, yeah, you know what pain you're carrying. You know what you're dealing with. Let it out. I do promote that. Whew, I'll take a breather for a second. Because this is deep, y'all. When you deal with yourself on the inside, it's deep. Also, you can have insomnia. Now, insomnia is when you struggle to sleep or deprive yourself opportunity to sleep because you sometimes you can have something on your mind so much, or you can be in certain situations that remind you of that trauma that you're not even comfortable to sleep. I want to say this, and I feel this in my heart. Sometimes in life, if you're going through some rough things in life, and you get a piece of, you can close your eyes and sleep even though it's rough, that's God's peace with you. I just want to share that. It also makes it hard. Another fact, it also makes it hard to concentrate, like focusing on tasks, paying attention, or making right decisions. This is deep. Sometimes, you know, when you in PTSD mode, it's hard to focus. It's hard to continue doing what you're doing, and it's hard to make decisions when you're on edge. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. Another thing that it has is another trait is in you that can increase anger, frustration, and aggression. I'm going to say that again. Another trait is that you can increase in anger, frustration, and aggression. Excuse me. I want to say agitation. I'm going to say agitation too. But aggression, you can be aggressive. Sometimes, you know, if you meet people that's really aggressive because they've been hurt a lot and they just on edge with PTSD. A lot of people don't want to look at this. A lot of people are hurting. There are certain actions and behaviors. If you're a smart individual that's healed or very mature, inclined spiritually or intellectually, mentally, there are a lot of people that's hurting. You can tell by their actions. A person like myself, I used to be one of them guys. Like, okay, something popping off. Hey, what's up? That's all I'm finna say. And there's action. I didn't like the tongue wrestle too much. I don't like some people don't even say nothing. Them the people you need to watch. The people that's doing a lot of talking, them are the problem starters. Them are the people that's triggering the PTSD. So if you have some people that's in your family and they just doing all of this and all this and all this all the time, and it's triggering you and it's bothering you, you can address that without violence and say, hey man, you talking too much, or what you saying, I can't deal with it anymore. Can you please stop? You always give the warning. Always. Even with my situation, with my past relationship, I asked the person, I told the baby mama to tell the baby daddy. I didn't communicate, but I told him, I said, hey man, can you tell him to quit talking about me like that? Can you tell him to quit coming around here, knocking on the door and not calling? And then, you know, this is another situation. I don't know why I'm going here. When you're dealing in a relationship with women with kids, make sure that you and the baby father have some kind of understanding, and you know, so there don't be no loopholes. Because I think I was blind to a lot of stuff due to my addiction and my lust. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm keeping it real. I was blind to a lot of stuff in my addiction and my lust. I had warning flags, but due to the fact of my addiction and my lust, I didn't pay attention, and I suffered some consequences from that. So if you hear what I'm saying, if you're getting warning flags and you need to start paying attention to what's going on in anything, not just relationships, anything that's around you, and it's not positive, you might want to get out of the situation, because evidently something's going to pop off. And I'm not speaking this into a situation. If you're around a situation and there's always constantly something going on, something's going to happen. Now, if you're at peace and you fine, sometimes even keep your head on the swivel with that, because, life or the devil will try to try you. I'm just speaking real facts and experience of where I'm coming from with this. So if you're dealing with increase of anger, frustration, and aggression, you might want to check your PTSD. All right. Another category I have, y'all. Changes in cognitive and mood, right? Continentation. Right. COGNITION. And mood, okay? So cognitive, relating to the mental process involving in knowing, learning, and understanding things. Now, that's well, I can't say this word. Cognitive. Thank you. Cognitive is relating to the mental process involving in knowing, learning, and understanding things. So this is your thought process. When you have PTSD, it's hard for you to know and learn and understand things, because your mind is so clogged with other stuff. Also, you have moods. You got positive moods and negative moods. We all know that. So think about this. Are you in a positive mood today? Are you in a positive mood? You have to look at this. And if you're not in a positive mood, you're in a negative mood. And that's clear as day. Moving forward. Negative thoughts and feelings about oneself or the world. Now, when you have PTSD, you can look at a situation so bad, and it's not really that bad. It's just in your mind from your traumas and your PTSDs that you see things the way they shouldn't be. The world is nice. Yeah, things are happening, but it's in your mind how you see the world. It's in your mind how you see people. This is deep. Also, not only that your thoughts, but your feelings towards things in the world or towards yourself. Now, I'm going to repeat this definition because this is really standing out to me. It says negative thoughts and feelings about oneself, about yourself. So let's think about this. Are you having negative thoughts and feelings towards yourself? Now, let me share. I'm going to share with you. Yeah, I used to. When I was young, I didn't think I was going to live to see 21. I lied to you not. I was out there in the streets. I've been on the streets. I left my mama's house when I was 12. This is a true story. I left my mama's house when I was 12 years old. I ain't been back to my mama since. I'm not saying nothing bad about that. It's just a choice I made. But understand this. If I would have looked at my situation different, if I wouldn't looked at it with my PTSDs coming up, because I did have PTSDs coming up, from being taken from my mom and going to certain places, that was another PTSD. But if I would have looked at it in a better aspect, I would have stayed with my mom, and I probably would have been a great football player. That's another PTSD, y'all. When you see that you could have been something great and you didn't achieve it, that's another PTSD. This is deep class today, y'all. So if you're feeling bad about yourself or the things of the world, we need to start addressing that and move forward with life, because the world is still spinning. This is deep today. This again can include feelings of guilt, shame, and worthlessness. Y'all hear that? So if you're walking around in shame, if you're walking around in guilt and worthlessness, I'm encouraging you. It's not easy, but it's time to address why are you feeling guilty all the time? Why are you in shame? And what you feel worthless about? Okay, Mr. Walker, can you help us out? I would love to help you out. I felt guilty sometimes because I knew I could be a better person, but I was in addiction. That's guilt. Okay? My shame is that I thought I could never change. And in my thought process, I could never change. So now that because I was a gangbanger, an addict, and a person that went to jail, I walked around with shame. That's shame. Now my worthlessness is deep. I didn't believe in myself. When you don't feel worthless, especially if you don't have that support around you to have that to help you encourage yourself, and you just building on your own self-esteem. Then baby, let me tell you something. Whew, you have to have a strong mind to feel like something when you're really nothing. What are you saying, Mr. Walker? There has been times in my life where I didn't feel nothing great about myself, but I had to encourage myself to say, hey, I could be better. Then you have other people in your life that you probably talk to or you deal with, and God uses them, or the good world, the positive energies is trying to help you, spoke something to your life and say, hey, you ain't gonna be like this forever, but it's up to you in your mind to process this. And in my mind, I didn't never process that I was not stop going to be doing gangbanging and drugs and stop going to jail. But I had things in life that did make me feel worthless. Before my addiction, I was going through things in my younger days, growing up, developing and having relationships and getting rejected and stuff like that. Yeah, let me tell you something. Rejection. I don't know why I'm talking about rejection. Rejection is a PTSD too, because when you feel like you got yourself together and you want to give your best to a certain thing or a certain aspect of a thing in life, excuse me, my back hurt a little bit. When you have a certain aspect of things in life and then you try to go forward, like trying to get a job. You know you believe for this job, you believe for this, and then boom, you don't get it. That's rejection. Rejection is a part of making yourself feel worthless, with worthlessness. How you think about yourself, how you appear, how you make your appearance. Like right now, I smell good. I smell so good, but there have been times I smelled bad. And sometimes I didn't brush my teeth. I'm just keeping this real. When you're feeling worthless, you're not at your best. You're at your all-time low. And people will see it. And people, I want to encourage anybody that's watching this video, if you see somebody at their low, don't look at them like they stink. Do something to help them out. The reason why I say this, because I live this. When I was in addiction, I share this in most of all my videos. When I was in addiction, I have a heart for homeless people. The reason why I have a heart for a homeless person, because I've been there. I done had, in my younger days, when I was on the trail, in my 19s and 20s, when I was in my teens and 20s, I was on the trail, on the Blossom Trail. Y'all can ask about me on Blossom Trail. I used to take prostitutes. This is a true story. I used to take prostitutes. You got to think about it. I'm out here on drugs. I'm out here gangbanging and not going to school and dealing with my PTSD, with my daddy beat me up. But here I was out there, and I seen prostitutes. And I used to take prostitutes in my room, not having sex with them. And you could tell when a woman, I don't know why I'm going here, but us men, we could tell when a woman is feeling not too great about themselves. And men, if you have a woman and any woman that's watching this right now, if you're not feeling, I feel something in my spirit, but if this is a woman watching this right now and you don't feel too great about yourself, you are a wonderful person. You just have to change your mindset, how you feel about yourself. I don't know, somebody just made me really lock in on that. But even as a man, even to the brother that's watching this video as well, bruh, you're not gonna always be where you at. You gotta start changing and believing in yourself and come out that worthlessness. It's all about how we think and perceive ourselves. And a lot of times we hear and go by what other people say or think, and we need to stop doing that. All right, so let's keep going. Sometimes when you deal with PTSD, you'll have the loss. You'll have the loss of interest of activities like hobbies, social events, and other things that you enjoy doing. You will lose interest in just stuff in life. Sometimes you lose interest in life. This is when suicide come into play, y'all. See, so PTSD can lead you to suicide because you're tired. You're tired of thinking of you're tired of feeling emotion. You just want to get it over with. Today, don't commit suicide. I'm stopping you. This is a warning sign. Hey, don't do it. Just get some help. Find some help. Get somebody to talk to. You don't got nobody to talk to? Call 911. They'll come pick you up and tell them you have mental health issues. They can put you somewhere and you can help yourself. I have done it. Either 911 or 211. I'm promoting that. Okay. Then you can feel detached or strange from others. Sometimes we deal with PTSD, you can feel like you don't belong, or you just feel like you don't set anywhere you go. You just feel bad about yourself. That's that worthlessness. Then you can feel hopeless or having a distorted view of the future. Sometimes, like I was telling y'all, when I was young, when I was dealing with my PTSD and going through my traumas, I didn't believe that I could live past 21. Today, if you deal with your issues, you can live a very long time. Another thing that I have, it can include a sense of despair or belief that things will never get better. I just shared that. Listen, man, this is real when I'm teaching y'all, when I'm living it. I used to live like things could never get better. I was just on the beach a couple months ago, and I was laying there homeless at my all-time low, saying, "Dang, man, is my life going to get better?" But guess what, y'all? The only reason life can get better because it's up to you. I got two cameras. It's up to you. It's up to you if you want things to get better. I just want to encourage that. I'm gonna move a little forward. Well, time we ain't gotta worry about time. All right, personalization and derealization. Personalization and derealization. This is when you have feelings of detached from oneself or the world. Then you see that. So you could be right here, present in the world, but you're not there. Or you could feel realistically present in the world, but in your mind you're not there. This is real. And then you have self-destruction behavior, and it increases with substance abuse. Self-destruction behavior can include reckless behavior, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts. Just bring this up. We have to start being in this derealization about ourselves. Reality is real. Life is real. Time is ticking. Your feelings are real. You are real. Don't depersonalize yourself. You are individual. Don't never count yourself out. Count yourself in. Let's go. All right. Okay, so come to the end of this video. The best way to deal with PTSD is through a combination of therapy. I do recommend. I have been through therapy. I have been through places where they have helped me with my PTSD. And in some cases, sometimes they have medicine. I will say I have took medicine for my PTSD. Also, group therapy is great, and self-care practices is a must. Now, I want to practice on this. These classes are help you desire to practice and deal with yourself. You probably can't go out. You probably don't want to talk to nobody. But if you don't want to deal with anything, sit down and deal things with yourself. A lot of us, we sit around and talk to ourselves anyhow. So let's talk about, hey, I'm going to share a good story and I'm about to go. When I was in my addiction and I was homeless and, I was going through my mental crisis, I had a conversation with myself. My alter ego, my addiction, my alter ego, and myself. So I had three people. I don't know, it felt like three people, but I had two people. I was right, my old character, BG, and my real self, my Darrell. I'm sharing this story. I don't care. And at that time, I began to wrestle with myself. I said, hey, man, this is enough. Me, Darrell, saying, hey, this is enough. This is old. But my alter ego, BG, the get high guy, said, hey, man, come on, let's do it one more time. If you're seeing this, it's probably what you're going through on the inside. Just an example. And, oh, yeah, BG, come on, man, let's just one more time. One more day, we can go get help tomorrow. Then me, no, this has to stop now. So I was going back and forth. And guess who won? Darrell. This is Darrell. Now, BG, y'all don't even want to see BG. Everybody know BG. Everybody know Baby Gangster. Okay? That wasn't a good guy. But today, I'm here being the person that I am, Darrell Javon Walker, because I put my old thinking behavior, my traumas, my PTSDs, and my fears away. I started dealing with them. And here I am today. I can speak clearly to you and say to you, hey, it's time to change, and you can change. So self-care is a very powerful thing. It's time for you to say, hey man, I can be something great. Or I can get off drugs. I never thought I'd get off drugs. And guess what? It's still a fight to the day. It's going to be, and guess what? For people that want to get off or understand healing in life and anything, it's not just a one thing. This is a lifetime commitment. I have sat down and I told my brother Richard Jennings yesterday, shout out, I had a conversation with him, and I told my brother, aka DeBarris Harrington, and my mother, Miss Barbara. I told all my sister, Deshauna, my niece Nicole, Shalani, and Karai, I told all of them, I said, listen, I know I'm in it for this is a lifetime fight. These videos I'm making, it's gonna change lives. So what I look like making these videos saying, hey, you can change your life, and then y'all see me back on the block. So what are you saying, Mr. Walker? I can't go back. When you make a change, you can't go back. When you make a change with yourself, don't pick up that old self. Don't pick up them old mindset. Don't go to talking, trying to be cool, to be people pleasing with people or be accepted by people. No, don't do that, okay? So, inner forgiveness, another tool that I'm sharing that I have done, inner forgiveness enters, when you forgive yourself, you enter into inner healing. Let me repeat that because I feel like I slurred a little bit. Inner forgiveness, right, enters into inner healing. So once you start forgiving yourself, you can start healing yourself. That was good. Man, listen, y'all don't hear nothing else in class? Hear this. When you start forgiving yourself, you can start healing yourself. Remember that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. That was very important. I thank you today. If you paid attention and watched Trauma Support Group Management, comment, like, share, or like. Did I say comment, like, share? Hey man, listen. I'm gonna say something. I'm not perfect at these videos. I am growing, and I'm just an example that you can grow from what you've been through. You can grow from what you've been through. You can grow from what you've been through. Because I'm an example, and practice makes perfect. And thank you for watching Trauma Support Group Management by Mr. Darrell Walker.